So a new Oddworld Soulstorm trailer had a lot about the story. It showed a lot of cutscenes and, it had a narration of who I think was a shaman, and he was basically just telling Abe, oh, you're not a slave anymore, you need to find your voice, you need to lead the Mudokons and, guide them to their destiny or something like that. That seems to be what it was basically talking about. So I'm going to go through each shot, just sort of analysing it and trying to work out, what it was saying basically. So first shot is of Abe looking at this clothed thing that appears to shine gold. Maybe it's a MacGuffin, and it seems to be important. I think is it an egg or something? I don't know why I said that. And it's got some Mudokons drinking Soulstorm brew, and then they throw the bottles away. It shows a nice shot of the crate. Of a crate of Soulstorm brew. Reminds me a bit of the scene from Abe's Exodus, the at last someone to drink. That scene when all the Mudokons get drunk and all that. It reminds me a bit of that. So I wonder if that's Oddworld Soulstorm's version of that. Then it goes on to a shot of, in my opinion, I don't like it when they take like 2D drawing art and put it in the trailer. I think it just looks a bit cheap, I guess. I don't know, not cheap, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't match right. This Gluckon is can't remember his name. Is it the Baron or something? I can't remember. It's interesting that they've specifically showed this Gluckon though, because I felt it would have been better or more relevant if they'd showed Moloch, because I think the shaman at this point says something like, oh, you escaped the razors or something like that, like referencing Rupture Farms or whatever. But instead they showed this Gluckon, so that's really interesting. That could be very relevant. And in the background it shows some Mudokons around a campfire. I think it's the same ones as earlier. Yeah, it looks like the same ones as earlier. Or the same location anyway. They just seem to be telling a story or something. Then it shows the shaman, who appears to be blind, which is very interesting because of course Abe's Exodus had blind Mudokons. But this one isn't blind because he's had his eyes stitched together. He just seems to be blind. Interestingly, I just noticed he's got like some marks on his lips, which look like where he could have had stitches maybe, but they don't match like Abe's stitch marks, so they might just be like tattoos, perhaps representing stitches or something. And also he's got a bee on his head. He's wearing a hat. It's got this hexagonal, is that a word? Hexagonal? Hexagon logo with a bee in the middle. So that's interesting. I don't think, oh yeah, Abe's Odyssey had bees, didn't it? They were always so annoying, so I wonder if that's something to do with that. Maybe the bees have made a return, who knows? So yeah, he seems to be like a tribe leader or something like that. I called him a shaman, he probably is a shaman. He's got like the same marks around his eyes as well, so maybe he did have his eyes stitched together. Could be. Anyway, he grabs Abe by the neck, which isn't very nice. And then the next shot is the best shot of any Oddworld trailer ever. It shows, I'm pretty sure that's Toby. It could be wrong. It looks like Toby. Maybe it's just an average Mudokon. I hope it's Toby. Let me have a look. I don't know. It's hard to tell because, I guess Mudokons all look alike. But actually, no, I don't think it is Toby. Because this guy has his hat forwards, whereas Toby has his hat like, really cool dude with the beak at the back. So I don't think it is Toby. That is disappointing. Anyway, so he's dead anyway, this fella here, whoever he is, and Abe's looking like all shocked. Like seriously, he probably like burnt loads of them alive prior to this. And then it shows the shaman kicking Abe. Jesus, this is one abusive shaman, isn't he? He kicks him into this circle area, which looks like the doors from like the first two games, which is quite nice. They had those round doors that you'd enter into. It looks a bit like that. So yeah, he kicks him into it. I'm guessing this is just after he's grabbed him by the throat, and Abe falls down this big hole. And then the next shot is just a shot of Alf, and it shows, goes back to the shaman letting go of Abe's throat, which is kind of him. I'm going to talk about respect your messiah. Then it shows Abe's hands. By the way, if you pause it at the wrong time, Abe's hands look really weird, like on the first frame. But whatever, he puts his hands on I say mechanical, but sort of native mechanical platform thingy, whatever. And then it shows an interesting shot of Abe. He's in this place. I thought it looks like sort of Gluckons. Not Gluckons, but it looks like sort of windows with like figures behind it watching. I'm guessing they're Mudokons, but for some reason my first thought was Gluckons. I'm guessing it's not Gluckons, but whatever. Interestingly, they look like hexagons to me, and this whole place looks like a beehive, doesn't it? It looks like even the colours, it looks like a beehive. So I think it might be some like beehive tribe of the Mudokons. And so yeah, that's interesting. So this must be like the tribe area that the bee shaman is from. I wonder what happened to Big Face. this. Oh yeah, and then some lightning comes down and strikes Abe. Interestingly, it turns his scars and his eyes like lightning-y. Yeah, this is definitely a native area. Look at this. Definitely looks like a native area. And it shows a very short shot of Abe hanging off a train, and then it goes back to the beehive area. And I initially thought it looks like the Soulstorm zapping things where they, you know, put the Mudokons in and they zap them and they start crying or whatever. Because if you pause it at the right times, it looks like Abe's sort of, you know, his eyes make it look like he's crying electricity or something. I don't know. And then it shows a shot of him looking shocked with his scars. It's not, is it a scar or is it a tattoo? Whatever it is, it's a, you know, it's a scar, isn't it? It's either way, it's glowing, and which is interesting. So maybe he's getting a new power, because that's what happens, isn't it? That's how he got the scars and whatever. They sort of zapped him, didn't they? And he got the power of the Shrike, so who knows? And there's a shot of Alf banging on a door, which I believe Abe is behind looking at that thing from the first shot. And it shows Abe collapsing on the floor after being zapped. And then it shows Abe, the shaman's basically saying you have to find your true voice or something like that. And then Abe has a knife, and Abe is about to cut his, or tries to cut his stitches. You know what I think? I don't think he does it, because I think being Stitch Lips is a part of his character. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does do it, but I don't know. It'll be interesting if he does. Also, why is he doing it in like the most painful way he could? Like, why'd you get a pair of scissors? Scissors exist on Oddworld, Vikers use them. I know he's using a blunt knife, he's just trying to cut it that way. It's like, seriously? So yeah, who knows what that could mean for the story of the game. If Abe cuts his stitches, what does that mean? Maybe. So I think he like does this hum when he chants, doesn't he? And I think that's why Mudokons are given stitches, so they can't do that. But Abe's, I guess, has worn out over time, and that's why he's able to do it. And so maybe, like, if he cuts it, it restricts him less, and he can have even more powerful possessive abilities. So I don't know, it's just a theory anyway. So yeah, the Oddworld Soulstorm PlayStation 5 reveal trailer showed a lot of information about the story and made it look really interesting and intriguing. And yeah, we'll just have to wait to see for when the game gets released. It didn't show a release date, which is sort of a shame, but at the same time probably wise considering their past experience with all that sort of stuff. You know, it's like, oh jeez, we're not even going to bother this time. It's probably a smart choice. But yeah, I think it looks pretty interesting. We'll have to see what happens. And it's really nice that Oddworld Soulstorm was a part of the PlayStation 5 reveal event.
Hello, follow me. Hehehe